Good morning, friends. We're starting with the part 7 of SC-900. We're starting with the first question. You have a set of resources in Azure. Can you add a delete log to a resource that already has a read-only log? Yes, it is possible. Question 2. Which of the following is a scalable cloud-native security information event management and security orchestration automated response solution? That is Azure Sentinel. Azure Sentinel is a scalable cloud-native security information event management and security orchestration automated response solution. It is capable to ingest data from the variety of sources and performance threat monitoring on that data. Question 3. Your company is currently looking at using Azure Policy Service. Can the Azure Policy Service be used to remediate issues that get detected via its compliance check? Yes. Azure Policy has a remediation section. This can be used to remediate issues if the resources are not found to be compliant with the policy. Question 179. Your company is planning on making use of Azure Blueprint. Can Azure Blueprint be used to create the role assignment for an organized Azure subscription? The answer is yes. Question 180. Which of the following provides the advanced and intelligent protection of Azure and hybrid resources and workload? That is Azure Defender. Azure Defender, you can enable the intelligent protection of your resources that you are defined in Azure and also in your on-premise infrastructure. Question 181. Which of the following is available for the Azure Application Gateway service that helps to protect the web application from common exploits and vulnerabilities? Azure Web Application Firewall. Azure Web Application Firewall can be used along with the Azure Application Gateway resource to protect the web applications from the common exploits and vulnerability. Question 182. Your company is planning on making use of Azure Active Directory Privilege Identity Management. Can Privilege Identity Management be used to provide time-bound assignments for the Azure resources? Yes. The correct option is option 1, yes. Question 183. Which of the following maps to the below encryption technique? Encryption information that resides in the persistent storage on physical media. Correct option is option 2, encryption at rest. Question 184. You are planning on using Azure Firewall Service. Can you use the Azure Firewall Service to encrypt incoming network traffic to Azure virtual machines? The correct answer is no. That is option number 2. The Azure Firewall Service is managed service that can be used to protect the Azure virtual network resources, but it cannot be used to encrypt the incoming traffic onto the Azure virtual machine. Question 185. You are looking at using Azure Active Directory Access Review. Can you use the Azure AD Access Reviews to review the group membership for the user defined in the Azure AD? Correct option is option 1, yes. You can create an access review in the Azure Active Directory. You can review the access of the user to teams and groups. Okay. Question 186. Which score measures an organization's progress in completing the actions that help reduce the risk associated to the data production and regulatory standards? That is the option 4, compliance scores. Do you use to provide real-time indication between the Azure Sentinel and another security source? What do you need? You need a connector. That is option 4 is the correct option. Question 188. Which Microsoft portal provides the information about how Microsoft Cloud Services comply with the regulatory standards such as ISO? Correct option is option 3, Microsoft Service Trust Portal. In the shared responsibility model for the Azure deployment, what is the Microsoft solely responsible for managing? That is the management of the physical hardware. That is the option number 4 is the correct one. Question 190. Which score measures an organization's progress in completing actions that help reduce risk associated to the data protection and the regulatory standards? Correct option is option number 4, compliance score. And that was the last question in this series. Thank you very much for your time. Please do like, share and subscribe the YouTube channel. Have a great rest of the evening. Thank you.